August 27, 1976, I dwelt in the city of 10,000 Buddhas in California. It was like a transmundane world. I worshipped Buddha and sat in meditation every day. When I was free, I enjoyed the gorgeous mountains and rivers. I felt so relaxed and free that even I forgot what date it was. The elder Master Suan Hu of Tathagata Temple in the city of 10,000 Buddhas and the guests from Taipei, and so on. More than 30 senior monks gathered in the front hall of the library of the city and talked Dharma. More than 100 laypeople from American West Bank, including well-known Chinese and Americans, scholars, celebrities, and virtuous ladies, attended this assembly. I was among them, chatting and sitting in the last row. I couldn't sit still. Relying on the indulgence to me of the Venerable Master Suan Hu, I was holding a camera, running around, and taking photos randomly. People listened respectfully, but I was monkey-like and never stopped. Although being quiet finally, I didn't go back to the seat but sat on the carpet and leaned against the inner door of the lecture hall. Master Daolin's Dharma talk was so profound and subtle that everyone listened to him attentively. I suddenly flashed a weird vision in my brain. I saw a giant wearing dark brown robes with 2 wings, flying from afar. His face was ferocious and looked very terrifying. Immediately, it was approaching the outside of the gate. I was shocked and couldn't help but neglect politeness. I jumped up, ran via the corridor, and rushed towards the gate to take a look. At that time, it was over 8 p.m., and it was dim outside. It was brilliantly lit inside the house, and children were playing in the small hall. I goggled at the darkness outside. The devil flew toward my face rapidly. When coming in front of my eyes, it turned out to be a small bat. It didn't fly into the darkness but flew through the gate and into the house where lights are brilliant, and hovered around me. When at the sight of it, the crowd of kids screamed and wanted to beat the bat. I stopped them immediately and prohibited them from making noise. The gate was wide and tall. The bat could fly out at any time. But it didn't go out but hovered around me. I pointed finger to the outside and said to it, "You go out." It just flew around me and refused to go out. I see. I realized, do you want to listen to the Master's teaching of Dharma? If yes, please follow me. The group of kids were looking in amazement. The bat actually followed me, flying along the long corridor to the entrance of the lecture hall. This scene immediately disturbed the audience and caused a commotion. Everyone watched me speaking to the bat, and it followed me obediently. "You wait on the door first," I said to it. It landed on the door frame, looked down at me, and nodded. At this time, everyone in the hall scrambled to see the incident, and the speaker had to temporarily stop lecturing. Master Suan Hu also came over and said to me, "You bring it in. Do you know who it is? It's not a real bat. It came to listen to the Dharma and talk to the bat. You can go in and listen." The bat nodded, spread its wings, flew into the hall, circled the room several times and fell on the window frame, hanging upside down and looking at the lecturer and Master Suan Hu on the podium. It kept nodding as if kowtow. At this time, the whole audience was moved and treated it with respect. Everyone prayed and chanted Amitabha Buddha. Master Suan Hu's disciple Master Hangu, American, ever worshipped every 3 steps from San Francisco to Seattle in 1973. The whole journey was 1,100 miles, which lasted 10 months, praying for world peace, also took several photos. At this moment, my forehead flashed again. I saw a huge bobcat sitting in the darkness outside, listening to the situation indoors. Then I got up. Master Suan, who already knew and told me, "You go out and shut the door, don't let the bobcat in." I then closed the door and did not let the bobcat come in. This cat was not a domestic cat. It had been sitting outside until we dismissed the assembly, and probably came to listen to the Dharma too. The bat stayed in the room. After the lecture was finished, Master Suan Hua went to bless the bat and chant Buddha for it. It could not stop nodding. The audience was astonished. How could the bat break into the light? Why didn't it fly into the darkness outside the window? At the end of the meeting, everyone was worried that the bat would not fly out. I said, "Don't worry, I will lead it away. I can lead it in. I should be able to lead it away." When people was about to disperse, I pointed out the window and said to the bat, "Please go back. Go back to where you came from." Everyone laughed. It was a coincidence again. The bat flew out of the window I pointed to and disappeared into the darkness. What I saw was a huge marauding demon shadow flying away. There were still 10-20 people present. Everyone was stunned. They could hardly believe that the bat would understand the human language. Was it really to come to listen to the Dharma? How do we explain these true but strange phenomena? There were many audience that night, including famous scholars, American doctors, engineers, and Buddhist practitioners, who all witnessed the scene. Everyone said this was too coincidental and too strange to explain. I saw its true face and brought him into the hall personally but didn't know who it was. Is it a demon? Is it a spirit? What is it? Master Suan Hua just smiled and said nothing. More than 200 people were witnessing this incident together. If you don't believe it, you can ask Gold Mountain Monastery. I never exaggerated. As for whether it is a bat or not, and who is it is up to your wisdom to judge. As for the bobcat, it was also a strange thing, because I saw a person's face with a cat's body. But no one else saw it, so I will not talk about it more. Later on the second night, 2 big black dogs came, and they were sitting outside and listening. Then they disappeared after listening. You can be suspicious, but I know it's all true.